What's up, guys? Welcome back to Boost Brothers Garage. In today's episode, we are going to take this old beat up carbon fiber wing. We're going to try to fix it up a little bit. Stay tuned. First, for those of you guys who are watching this video when it actually drops, happy Thanksgiving. Appreciate you watching. Hope you're enjoying time with your friends and family. I know that I am, especially with a little 2-week-old Jack now. So anyway, I got this wing off of Facebook from one of the 944 groups. This is a 70-inch carbon fiber race wing. It was off a 944 race car. From what I can tell, it is a fully functional piece. It's not, just for looks. So this is something that we're gonna actually try to drop some lap times with on the 944 race car. It is carbon fiber construction with a fiberglass core, and well, it's seen better days. As you can tell, the clear coat's peeling on it in spots. It's really scratched up in other spots. More clear coat issues there. It also looks like at some point it had a gurney strip on it that was then taken off. I will probably end up replacing the gurney strip at some point, but for the time being, we're not gonna mess with that. The main thing we're gonna try to do today is sand this thing down and re-clear it and see how much of its original luster we can bring back. The other thing I've already done was refinished the brackets that came with the wing. It's got some pretty nice aluminum uprights that bolt to the body of the car. They kind of slide down in between the hatch and the base of the car right there. They were raw aluminum. I'll throw a picture in here right now. They looked fine, but they don't match the theme of the car, and I wanted something a little different. So I refinished them in this wrinkle black. And I think they turned out pretty sweet. Fully adjustable, which is great. The other reason I got this wing for as cheap as I did, which is kind of the only reason I bought it, is it didn't come with any end plates. I don't know if the previous owner lost them or didn't want to run them for whatever reason, but it didn't have them. So I got these carbon fiber plates. This is a 12x8 piece. I think it's 2 mils thick, if I remember. But I got these off of eBay. They're typically used to build drones with. I got 7 of them for less than $100 shipped. And I've gone through already and I've started to, well, I've fully traced the outline of what I want the end plate to look like. And I'm basing this off other wings that I know have the proper aerodynamic attributes, if you will. So I went and looked at the GT Racing Predator wing, which I think this is an older version of that wing when it was still fiberglass core. And I went and looked at the APR GTC 500, and specifically they don't have one for a 944, but I looked at one for an FD Mazda RX-7, which has a somewhat similar body shape. And I took the dimensions of their end plates and tried to match them as best as I could here. So I think that it'll be, a pretty good representation of what should be on the car. I don't think that the end plate itself is gonna make a huge aerodynamic difference. If you guys know differently, tell me and I can try to figure something else out. But I think these are gonna work well. For the sanding process, we've got some 120 grit sanding pads. This is a little coarser than I wanted, but I think there's some areas on the wing that are really gonna need that kind of rougher cut. And then I've also got some 600 and 1500 dry and wet sandpaper that I can do the finish sanding with before we clear it. Let's give the old 120 a shot, start knocking this down, see what it looks like. Still got some pretty deep blemishes here. I'm gonna be here a while. I'm gonna keep going. See you guys in a minute. All right, I got the whole top of the wing sanded down here. I ended up having to get the electric sander out because some of those blemishes were relatively deep and I couldn't get them with just that sanding pad. One of the interesting things I found, this black strip here, which I thought is like old adhesive or something from where a gurney strip was, is actually hiding some Bondo and maybe some fiberglass resin and such. And it's actually on the leading edge here as well. So I guess I'm gonna have to go back and run a tape line across here and repaint that stuff black before I clear it. As for the underside, it's significantly worse than what the top was. You can see all this stuff here. So I have no idea how it's gonna turn out. At the end of the day, even if I have to paint this entire wing black, I still got a great deal on it, and functionally it's gonna be what I need. So we're just gonna try to save the carbon because it's gonna look real pretty. But if not, you know, we'll paint it black. So I'm gonna get to sanding this bottom and I'll let you guys know how it goes. That's not good. All right guys, so this project is fallen off the rails just a little bit. It's time to drop back and punt, I think. Top of the wing turned out decent, but the bottom side, my God, the bottom side. We have body filler everywhere. There were huge sanding scratches. I have no idea what happened to the bottom side of this wing, or if that's how it was directly after it was manufactured. But the bottom side of the wing is kind of a lost cause as far as refinishing the carbon. As you can see, I tried to sand down some of the Bondo spots to see if we could get to good carbon, and we sanded down into the resin. So I'm gonna have to paint the whole bottom of the wing black. So that's our plan. We're gonna paint the bottom of the wing black. We're gonna paint the strip here and this leading edge here black. We're gonna let all of that dry, and then we're gonna clear coat the whole wing and hope for the best. We've got the top of the wing all taped up, and we're ready to start spraying. I've got the wing flipped over, and I'm gonna go ahead and paint the bottom side. I've obviously sanded everything, and I've wiped it down a few times to get all the dust and fingerprints off. So we're gonna do a real light tack coat. Second coat's done, which was a nice wet coat. There's a lot of blemishes in the paint. I haven't decided what I'm gonna do. I mean, it is the underside of the wing on a $1,000 race car after all. All right, guys, I'm back. It is 2 o'clock in the morning. I just got done with my shift with the newborn, and well, trying to squeeze in a little garage time where I can. Let me give you a little update. We've got a bit of a moment of truth here, pulling this tape off. See what it looks like. Oh man. Looks like my tape line's held up good. Look at that. Almost like I knew what I was doing. There's the top of the wing, ready for clear coat. Dare I say, this might turn out all right. That looks really, really good, right? No, it really doesn't. Once again, I have a 2-day project that's turning into a 5-day project. I'm gonna throw one more real wet coat of clear on the top of the wing. I'm gonna let everything cure overnight, and I'm gonna do some serious wet sanding tomorrow. I really shouldn't be worried about all of this, right? Like, it's going on a $1,000 race car that we rolled the paint on. If you haven't seen that video, I'll throw it up here. But literally, the car's got a roll-on paint job. But I just can't help myself for some reason. Here's what the wing looks like after 24 hours of curing. I'm gonna hit it with 600 first, finish with 1500, and then re-clear it. By now you guys are probably tired of me talking, so I'm gonna fast forward through the entire rest of the process, and I'll let you know exactly what I had to do and how it turns out. Hey guys, I'm back. This project started pretty much on Thanksgiving Day, and it's almost Christmas. And that gives you a little idea of how much trouble I've had with it, besides just trouble finding time to do really anything at all. But last night I sanded this wing down for literally the 5th time, and a few minutes ago I clear coated it for the 5th time. What we have here is another epic failure. I mean, there's parts of it that look decent, but there's some solvent pop marks or fish eyes or something. I'm having a hell of a time with reactions with this clear coat. And I've tried multiple different brands of clear coat. Right there you can see it's really bad. And then it decided to run on me a little bit, which is awesome. So yeah, just a complete failure. Unless you look at it from, oh yeah, right there, look at that, smooth as glass. That's a good looking carbon fiber wing right there. So needless to say, I'm over it. I'm over this month-long project that's never ending. I'm over all of the terrible paint reactions. I'm over sanding. So I'm calling it quits. Next time you see the wing, I'll be installing it on the car, and hopefully by then I'll have it all sorted out. That's all, guys. See you next time.